If you're an artist or music industry professional, you'd already know how big a role Triple J plays in the Australian music scene. But if you've really got your finger on the pulse, you ought to be aware of J-Play. Since its inception in 2006, it's been a key weapon in the arsenal of record labels, managers, and independent musicians monitoring how their music is performing on Triple J. And if you're wondering, no, Triple J does not own J-Play. With comprehensive airplay reports, charts on the most played songs every week, and a full-on record of everything that gets spun at the station 24/7, J-Play is one hell of a powerful website, which is, believe it or not, run by just one guy out of his lounge room. So we wanted to meet this mysterious man to chat about this growing database he's created and everything else surrounding it.
So how did J-Play come about? How did it start?
In 2006, I was still working as a manager for about 10 years at Sanity, and I'd pretty much had enough of working in music retail. I could see CD sales declining and people were coming in, finding out about music and then purchasing it online. The iPod was starting to take off. The iTunes store was definitely there, so online was where it was heading. And for those past 5 years, I was already running a website called Oz Music Central in my spare time. I had the Australian Music Show playlist, charting all the different artists that were on there and showing who was getting the most airplay out of the Australian artists. And that gave me the idea to start J-Play. And then J-Play just started to take off and, more people, it wasn't even just for the stats to start off with. It was just playlists because people would come into the shop and they'd say, I heard this song on Triple J, can you help me figure out what it was? And they didn't have any playlists available at all, so, except for the specialist programs. At their day-to-day programming, there was no way to find out what they were playing.
Why hasn't Triple J invented this?
Triple J does have a feed,
right?
Yeah. They do it now as well, and theirs is pretty accurate. The main problem is there is gaps every now and again. Also, if a DJ is lining up a song to play at the end of the hour and then they actually just talk out, that gets put onto their Twitter or onto their feed, and it isn't actually played, so it's not that accurate.
And has Triple J ever reached out to you?
A few years back during the Hottest 100, there was a bit of controversy with not many female artists making it into the Hottest 100. They weren't keeping many statistics back then, so the Hack program got in touch and tried to use some of our statistics to prove that they were playing a lot of female artists, and it wasn't their fault. They're playing the female content, just the punters weren't voting for female artists.
It's really interesting. So your data that J-Play has goes back further than the data that Triple J has.
It goes back many a year. 11 years I've been running it. So.
Wow. Are you over it yet, or are you still like it?
Some days you feel a little bit over it, but it's a great job. So I get to hear pretty much every new song that gets played.
Do you like every new song that's played?
Oh, no, of course not. No. I was lucky enough to win a Triple J competition a few years ago. You had to ring up and they played 5 snippets of songs. And of course, I would know every song just by the first 2-second phrasing of it.
So you have 2 teenage kids. Mm-hmm. What do they think of your job?
Yeah, it's hard to say. You'd probably have to ask them, but hopefully they think it's pretty cool.
Do you think a lot of your music taste stemmed from your dad's job?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, growing up, he always used to make mixtapes for the car when we were really younger.
I loved the Foo Fighters for some reason when I was little. Smashing Pumpkins, just that whole kind of grunge era.
He introduced me to a lot of my favourites like Smith Street Band, Camp Cope, Basement. Yeah, there's so many, but I can't think of them all right now on the spot.
Is there a Triple J sound? From your experience and listening to so much of the station, do you see any patterns?
Somewhat. It has changed over the years for sure. To say there's only one Triple J sound, it would be a bit naive. But there's definitely within each genre. You can hear a song and say, yep, that's probably going to get onto rotation and may do well in the Hottest 100. And other songs you think, look, they're only going to play that once or twice. Other times songs surprise you, and there is a definite sound, but putting your finger on what it is the difficult thing.
What are some of the songs that have surprised you that just got absolutely flogged?
Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, I guess, how that came in at number 1, and it was a real head scratcher, that one.
What's on your Hottest 100 shortlist?
There's a fair few bands that'll definitely be on there. I don't know which songs yet. Sorority Noise, the Smith Street Band had a great album, so I'll probably put 1 or 2 of them. Gang of Youths, there's probably 3 or 4 songs on that I could choose. Paul Dempsey's cover and Like a Version was great. Middle Kids, so they're all up there for sure.
The brilliant thing about Paul is that for a guy who's listened to 24-hour recordings of Triple J every day for more than a decade, he's still an avid fan of the station, as well as new artists who've come through all these years. The guy is a legit music fan. So once you're done here, we suggest you do 2 things. Firstly, cross your fingers for all your hottest 100 votes. And secondly, if you've never done so before, give JPlay a whirl and see for yourself why it's such a vital resource, especially when you want to know what the heck is happening on Triple J every second of every single day.